All right, it's Monday. It's another day to try and get absolutely massive. Simon, damn it, Simon! It's me, you, from the flippin' future. You can't beat me from the future. You're bald. Are you kidding me? Man, you are gonna regret this in a few years. Stop being an absolute moron. All right, just calm down. Just listen to me. Stop eating like a pig all the time. Start doing things properly, and you're actually gonna see some proper muscle gain. What do you mean I don't have to eat like a pig to get big? That's what I've been doing for the last 6 months. I'll have you know, I've put on a lot of weight. Look at your belly, for goodness sake. Right, yes, most of it is fat. Look, okay, I take your point. I'll do my best. Simon of the Board A-Hole here, wearing an eye patch for continuity's sake. That can go out of there with Gerald, the fitness mascot, who doesn't want a penguin, making them feel good before they go to the gym. And yes, we are going back to a topic that people still ask me about so much today. It fills me with joy, it fills me with glee, because this kind of fitness journey kicked off, and we did do a very similar video to this. People were saying, Simon, there must be more things I need to know before I go into the gym. I keep making mistakes. I keep falling on my ass. And as I always say, it's all right to make mistakes. It's all right to fall on your ass, as long as you learn from it. They are the best lessons you can learn from life. If you were successful all the time, you're never going to get above a certain level, because you've got to fall on your tum-tum and your bum-bum and then say, oh, I know what I can do next time, and you will go from strength to strength. So yeah, when you start your fitness journey, or even when you're in the middle of it, some things nobody ever talks about, mostly because they suck. But hey, I'm the bearer of bad news, which is actually good news today, and here's 10 of them. Number 10 is that you do not grow symmetrical, right? The amount of questions I get were saying, oh, my left bicep's bigger than my right bicep, or some people fall into the trap where other individuals will go up into the gym, and they'll go, oh, your right bicep is bigger than your left biceps. Doctors love doing this. When you go see the doctor, they love doing it. When they find out you work out, it's like they want to try and take you down. It's like, well, I may have studied for 12 years in medical school, but I don't have like a jacked chest, and therefore I'm going to throw, well, fire at you all the time. And they do. It happened to me recently. They went, well, as you can see, your right side's bigger than your left side. And I was like, listen, brah, I've been working on this for a damn long time. Please don't just throw me in the mud. But it's true. I think when we first start lifting weights, we think, well, because we're doing, 15 kilogram dumbbell, whatever, with both hands, the left side's going to go to the right side side's going to go like the left side, but they are independent to each other. Like, even if you're doing bench press, your left side is different to your right side. You may be pushing harder from one side than the other, especially if you are right or left-handed. You may just naturally lean towards the left, or you may actually lean towards the right. It's a bit like politics. Nobody's right down the middle, and it means you are going to grow a little bit. No one's going to look at you and think you're like some crazy half man and you've been pushed together like you're a Siamese twin or something. That doesn't work, because whatever, it doesn't matter. Why do you think when it comes to bodybuilding, as in shows, one of the attributes that the judges look for is how symmetrical in that guy? Because it's really difficult to do. Ensuring that your left deltoid is the same as your right deltoid and your left quad is the same as your right quad is really, really hard. So it is not a problem unless you are about to step on the stage if you are not 100% all-round perfect. That's half the fun. And it's something, of course, you should absolutely try and be aware of, or get somebody else to be aware of. If you do need to work individual muscle groups, that's what you should do. For example, we'll stick on shoulders. If you have a left shoulder that's bigger than the right shoulder and you're doing lateral raises, maybe you want to do 14 kilograms in one hand, but in the other, maybe you want to hold 15 kilograms. Maybe you want to hold 16 kilograms. It can get that kind of crazy. Overall, does it matter massively? I don't think so, because again, you're not going to walk around like a Frankenstein monster where it looks like you've been pieced together. You'll always have some sort of symmetry, but so many people think they're just going to look absolutely perfect, and you won't. It sucks, but it's true. Following on from that, number 9 is that some muscles grow faster than others, and it may not even be the muscle that you want. Most people that walk into the gym, they want to have big arms or big biceps, and they want to have a big chest, right? Your body doesn't care about that. Your body's not your friend. Like, you couldn't give two hoots what you want. You may hate legs, like a lot of people do, and the first time you actually get into them, because of course you won't do them for the first 6 months, you may see better growth in your legs than you do anywhere else. And I think that's great. I think you should jump on that bandwagon and just ride it through to the fitness town of love, but it may not be what you want. I've talked about it before, I'll talk about it again. Do you know what muscle of mine grows the fastest? My ass. and most of it's fat anyway. The point is I store muscle there, I store fat there, it kind of grows quicker, so I have this shelf bum, and all I want is to have a big back and big traps and and all this kind of nonsense. But it's just not true. You have to work with what you've got, which is why you don't want to focus too much on your energy on other people, because they're dealing with a whole different set of, wait for it, buzzword, genetics. Comments, genetics, who cares about genetics? Unfortunately, it is true. But just try and take this all into account as you are training, because it's a great way to shape your program. If you want to have a big chest, you may have to train it differently to other parts of your body that just grow faster. What are you going to do? Number 8 is that some muscles may not grow at all. I know, it sounds terrible. It's usually the calf muscle, right? I have trained my calf muscles every which way, and I just do not get the development in them that I would want or that I've seen elsewhere. Now, a huge reason for this is because you're standing up for most of your life, so your legs are quite well drilled, and trying to, force them into life and actually getting bigger is really, really difficult. But you may have other areas of your body that you find really difficult to try and get any kind of growth in there. Just try not to worry about it. Gerald doesn't care. Look at Gerald's legs. Gerald just has yellow feet. He's got absolutely no chance. But I think most of our insecurities with these muscle groups come from other people going, oh, your shoulders look crap, or your pecs look absolute wank. And it's like, well, okay, I'm doing my best. And that's the key. You are doing your best. You're only in competition with yourself. You do not need to worry about anybody else. And you just need to figure out a different way to do it. Again, I've said this once, I'll say it twice. Do not train every single muscle the same way if it's not working for a specific muscle. Let's say that 6 to 8 reps on, your chest, your arms, your back, whatever else is absolutely perfect. If it doesn't work for your legs, do 12 to 14 reps. Just do one big rep. I don't know, but you have to be able to be flexible with this stuff. And so many people will not. They will take one program, they'll copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Once again, your body doesn't care about that. Your body doesn't care. It just wants to sleep and eat pizza. That's what we have to fight all the time, this urge to sleep and do nothing and eat cheese. Number 7 is you can increase muscle mass. You can get quote unquote big without bulking like a crazy person. Now, if you do that, are you going to put on more gains? Of course you will. That's maths, right? That's standard maths. If you eat blah, 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 so on and so forth. But you don't have to do it. That's the key. There are people out there that can tell you, some people say that you can build muscle in a calorie deficit. And it's true. The evidence is out there. Doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but it's something you can try. And the reason I think it's massively important to talk about this when you are first starting out is every article you ever read will go, you got to eat 5,000 calories and you got to eat all the carbohydrates in the world. You just got to put your face in a place of rice and just wiggle it around and hope that some things go into your stomach. You can do that, and it's a great way to do it. It's a tried and tested method, but it's not the only way. And if you know that you don't want to put on a load of fat, and you know you want to stay kind of lean but try and put on little bits of muscle, then you should look into that avenue too. You don't have to go from having 2,500 calories, which is the apparent normal amount of food to eat, to doubling that overnight just because you've decided you want to put on some muscle. If anything, going slower is better to see what your body is capable of. By the time you get to 3,000 calories, maybe you're actually putting on enough to where you're happy. Maybe you're some crazy person, and at 2,500, when you introduce weightlifting into the equation, that's when you actually start to see results. You don't know until you do it, but if you go from 1 to 100, you've left no space in between, and you're going to be absolutely lost. And I talk about this from experience. I know we did that little joke in the intro, but that's what I did. One day I went, oh, well, I've got to get big, therefore I've got to eat big. And I did, look, it worked. I'm not going to lie. I did put on size, but a tremendous amount of it was fat. I need to dig out these pictures. They're around here somewhere. Well, they're actually in picture form. That's how old I am. But would you have looked at me and gone, that guy's training? No. You would have looked at me and gone, that guy loves ice cream and is probably going to die really young. And number 6 is that you do not have to, there's that word, do compound moments. Like again, as soon as you start learning about this, they say you got to do squats, you got to do bench press, you got to do military press, you got to do deadlifts. Those things are great. They are fantastic exercises, and I'm not going to lie, if you just did them when you're starting out, you'll probably see some increases in size because they're compound movements, right? So they don't just focus on one muscle group. So when you are deadlifting, you're not just working your back, you're working your legs, and you're working stabilizer muscles, which are the little muscles that help grow the bigger muscles. Nobody cares about them because they're not fattening muscles, but they are just as crucial. Can't really say it in the gym word, you don't want to squat because people go, what a wuss, you're an absolute loser. But it's your flipping life, man. Why do you care what Big Jack Jerry over here has to say? Just ignore Big Jack Jerry. He's going to criticize you no matter what you do. So if you do not want to squat, or you don't like it, or you don't want to do deadlifts, or you don't want to do bench press, you don't want to do whatever, I implore that you should do them because you'll get to your goals faster, but it's not a necessity. You can get big off isolation exercises. You can get big off just doing machines. As long as you train hard enough and push it, you're probably going to hit a gym plateau and you're probably going to hit a wall faster than you would do otherwise because you're just taken out of the equation these really cool things you can do, but they're not a necessity. And I see so many people finding that this huge intimidation factor because they just want to go to the gym and do machines. You're allowed to do it and you will see some progress. And I tell you this, by the time you do get there, you'll be feeling so good and you'll be feeling so excited about what you are able to achieve. Then you will introduce them anyway because you will finally see the benefit. But even if you never do, you can still have a muscular body. This is not a buy in and have to accept everything situation. And number 5 is that cardio can actually help you put on muscle. Of course it can. Now, this isn't in the most standard way. We're kind of going around the houses here, but so many people when they're lifting weights don't want to do cardio because they think it's going to ruin their gains. It's going to suck away all their gains and get a straw and go and start sucking away as soon as you go on a treadmill. That is absolute bullcrap. You just have to understand maths. Isn't that right, Gerald? I only touched him because I accidentally hit him. I'm sorry, boy. You stay there. If you are starting to do cardio, and let's say you're burning 500 calories a day, then of course you are going to need to find that 500 calories back. Otherwise, you may be in a calorie deficit, although we already have talked about that maybe you can still build muscle. You need to see what your body is capable of. But in terms of the health and fitness side of things, you want to be in as good a shape as possible. You want to make sure your conditioning and your cardio is up to scratch so that when you are lifting weights, you're super fit, right? And the fitter you are, the better you are going to be at lifting weights. That is just a fact. You can't argue that. So don't run away from cardio. Embrace cardio. Figure out how much you want to do and just make sure you're eating enough food so that you're still putting on size. The other point of this as well is if you go on a year-long bulk, which many people do when they first start lifting weights, when it's time to cut, you are going to look at every cardio machine like it is your ex-girlfriend, your ex-boyfriend, your ex-partner. You are just going to hate it. But I don't want to have to deal with you. You've been out of my life for so long, and when you were here before, you just brought me misery. Whereas if you just keep it around for a little bit, and if you're doing 10 minutes a day, it's not going to be so bad when you have to go 20, 30, 40 minutes. I've just realized that's a terrible analogy because I'm kind of telling you to stay in bad relationships. I'm not. It didn't work. I made a mistake. The point is, don't just throw it out the window. Even if you keep doing 10, 20 minutes a day, a week, just a week, it just is going to allow you to get back into a routine better. Cardio is not the devil. Number 4 is that it's going to wreck your joints. Maybe I said this one before. I can't remember, but it's an important thing to throw out there. And when I say it's going to wreck your joints, I mean it's going to wreck your joints if you don't take care of yourself now, right? So many people wait until their joints start hurting and then they start doing yoga or then they start doing stretch routines or then they start warming up properly. Treat that as important as you do the actual lifting part. There's ways to warm up, there's ways to warm down. When you're having a rest day, doing things like yoga and all that kind of stuff, that's going to be massively important too. Do not wait until you start hurting because once again, it just stands to reason. What sounds dafter, right? What sounds dafter? Because so many people go, no, it doesn't. What sounds dafter? Putting your body under tremendous amounts of stress and expecting that your joints eventually are going to get a bit more worn out, or putting your body under a tremendous amount of stress and thinking, man, I'm sure nothing's going to happen. That one doesn't make any sense. And like I say, so many people say, well, no, if you're lifting right, it's not going to happen. Yes, of course that's true, but you're not going to be lifting right 100% of the time. That's not how things work. So when you do start a brand new program, introduce all that as well. Preservation is the key here. Don't run yourself into the ground. Number 3 is that people are going to think you're stupid. Some stereotypes never go away. As soon as you have any kind of muscle on you, people will think you're a jock, people will think you're a meathead, and people will assume that you can't read a book or that you can't learn maths. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. Why can't you be a big jacked up guy that can also do an equation? Apparently these two things are completely mutually exclusive. It's just something you have to take on board. And you know what? You should take it as a compliment. As long as you know you're smart, as long as you know that you can absolutely smash it when it comes to the brain, you can just shrug your shoulders and go, well, you know what? I'm smarter than you and I can deadlift a house. Number 2 is that stress can stop your gains, right? We're all looking for these things about, well, I want to get as big as possible. What do I have to eliminate from my life to ensure that I get there quicker? Stress and increasing your cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone, is not the number one way to stop it, but it is a huge thing that's going to get in your way. It's why sleep and recovery are so important, not only because your body goes when you're actually recovering and resting, but also because it keeps those stress levels down. You do not want to stress your body out. Equate it to what you do when you're at work, right? When you're all calm and cool, how much more productive are you at work, right? Far more than when you're stressed and pulling your hair out. Look what happened to me. So treat the gym the same. Now, obviously, there is a certain amount of stress when you go into the gym because you're lifting heavy weights, and your cortisol levels will increase a little bit. But that's why when you're downtime, you want to make sure you're as chilled as possible. You want to make sure you'll be getting that sleep, because your body needs to be in like the best condition ever in order to get the optimum gains. Whatever you have to do to eliminate stress is what you should do. And number one is that it is not the answer to anything, right? It is not the answer to anything.
Say everything twice. Yeah. Say everything twice.
You are not going to get your dream physique and then all of a sudden any other problems or any other insecurities you had in your stomach or your brain or your heart, they ain't just going to flutter away. Unfortunately, they will still be there. Now, I still implore you to go and work out and try and get in the best shape possible. It's like the money argument, right? People say, well, money won't, solve all your problems. No, but it gets rid of one problem because you've got a bunch of money. You haven't got to worry about finances. And it's the same with the gym. If you want to get in shape, it's going to give you an extra little boost, but you are still going to have to, figure out whatever else is going on in your life. And the only reason I throw that in there is because so many people think that, getting a perfect body, which doesn't exist to begin with anyway, is the be all and end all. And it's absolutely not. And I know that because I've been there. I've been doing this thing for 20 years and I'm still not in any kind of shape that I'm proud's the wrong word, but I'm not in a shape that I'd be like, there we are, boom, I can just stop all doing this. It's a dangling carrot. You're going to want to do it day after day after day after day. But that's why you've got to love it. And if you don't love going to the gym, that's why you've got to find a fitness entity that you are passionate about. Because when you've got the passion, it almost doesn't matter what the end game is, because you don't want there to be an end game. You just want to make it like your life. That's why I enjoy it so much. I love the process. I love waking up and doing cardio to a point. I love the diet. I love having something to focus on every day. And I really enjoy going to the gym. Make that the reason you do it and not whatever may be at the end of the rainbow. And there's nothing at the end of the rainbow. People used to say there's going to be a leprechaun in a pot of gold. You ever been to an end of a rainbow? They don't exist. There you go. 10 more things about building muscle that nobody tells you, or part 2, whatever the hell you want to call it. I think they're all important things, so I've thrown it out there into the universe and we'll see what happens. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe, smash that bell, ding ding, so you know when other videos are going live. I've got merchandise, simon.bigcartel.com. I've got a Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316, Instagram, Twitter. It's all in the link down there, or the description down there. There's links. Go and check it out. Click the other video on the screen because YouTube gets a massive kick out of that, as do I. More importantly, thank you for watching. Keep smashing that gym, and I'll see you soon.